Welcome. Thank you for watching this video presentation. This is going to be lesson zero. It's really just going to lay the groundwork, the foundation for the lessons to come. Where pretty much what the goal of this course will be is to make take a lot of the mumbo jumbo and the technical talk out of cryptocurrency and make it more palatable to just regular people who are interested. So this is gonna be lesson zero. Maybe gonna have some music playing in later episodes. Right now, this is my laptop's internal microphone. I tried to adjust the audio levels so it is clear and nice as possible, but there are limitations as it is a basic laptop microphone. Anywho, thank you for coming to watch again. I appreciate it. Put a lot of effort into this, and this presentation will be available to anyone who wants to view it on their own time and follow through some of the links and videos that are included. So, without further ado, let's hop right in. I'm going to keep this video very short. So, let's go. Just some contact information. Email address is adamantineblade@protonmail.com. Feel free to email there on any questions or recommendations, etc., etc. The Discord channel, that's actually a link. If you decide that you do want a copy of this course, that is a hyperlink which will link you to the Discord, which is a chat room where it's pretty much just an open chat room, really, and the donation if you so desire. So key topics: what is crypto, the lingo, and how does it work? Continuing on, use of the word crypto refers to cryptocurrency. Some of these slides have been narrated, so audio was put on them prior to recording this, just so it comes out a little cleaner and you can pretty much follow along as you read without having to listen to me talk real time. So, what is crypto? Textbook definition: cryptocurrency is a digital asset used in peer to peer transactions. There is more than one cryptocurrency. The most popular is Bitcoin by far. The second most popular, you could say, is Ethereum. But there are several cryptocurrencies. There's not just one cryptocurrency. Keep that in mind. It is a digital asset. There is no physical form. You cannot hold cryptocurrency in your hand. What cryptocurrency is, without getting into the weeds too much, it is a store of value on a distributed ledger. So there is a database of transactions, and you have key pairs that define who owns what on this database. Normally, you'll have a bank that will keep a centralized ledger, and the bank is who controls it. The difference with cryptocurrency is there's no physical form to it, and there's not just one person controlling it. So just keep that in mind. It's distributed and it has no physical form whatsoever. Its purpose, lightly touched on it, it is to exchange funds without a third party. So you do not need a middleman when you are performing a cryptocurrency transaction. There are services where you can get the help of a middleman, and this is referred to as escrow. ESCROW, escrow. That is where you will have a third party intervene so that the buyer and the seller can agree to some terms beforehand, and it protects both parties against loss. And then lastly, the last bullet point is the advantages. You have faster transactions and full control of your money. With, like, again, there's more than one cryptocurrency. With cryptocurrency, I could send someone, so right now I'm in the United States. I could send someone in Africa $2,000, for example, in a matter of minutes. From America, I can send a person in Africa $2,000 and they will receive it in minutes. Minutes. That is not possible with the current setup of the uh, the banking system and all that. So another advantage that's not listed here is portability. I could bring let's say, let's use an absurd number. I could bring $3 million worth of cryptocurrency onto an airplane. No problem at all. You cannot bring $3 million US cash on any airplane without them giving you hell. It's probably not even possible, honestly. So another advantage that's not listed would be it's very portable. You can put it in your pocket, or if you don't have a hardware device to put it in your pocket, more on hardware wallets later. You can just keep the seed phrase in your head, so it's very portable. Uh, on the right hand side of the screen is a video. This video will be you'll be able to play it on your own time if you decide that you want a copy of this course. And on the bottom it says cryptocurrency transactions are typically non-refundable, and crypto does not have a physical form. So you lose your money in cryptocurrency world. Remember, crypto is uninsured. No central authority controls crypto, and transaction fees, more on that later, cover the cost to secure the network. The blockchain is a public ledger listing all transactions and each account's balance. Once a transaction or block has been added to the blockchain, it cannot be modified. The blockchain is permanent and it is decentralized. Each node on the network has a copy of the blockchain that is used to reach consensus. Miners are specialized computers that maintain the blockchain's integrity and collect transaction fees. It is the miner's job to verify each new block and maintain security on the network. A wallet is a program or device used to generate and or store private keys. Wallets can be physical or software, and they come in two varieties. A wallet can either be hot or cold. A cold wallet is one that does not connect to any networked devices. In contrast, a hot wallet is one that has internet access. A seed is a random set of words that can be used to restore a wallet's private keys. Nodes are any computer that offers services to a particular crypto network. So, before we move on from this slide, just want to go over blockchain one more time. So, a public ledger listing all transactions and each account's balance. The reason that it is referred to, the reason that the technology is referred to as blockchain is because starting from the top, so you have the very first transaction ever. The very first transaction on any blockchain is called the Genesis block. So keep that in mind. So you have the Genesis block, which is transaction number one. The next block after that, which would obviously be transaction number two, it will reference transaction number one. So transaction number two will reference transaction number one. Transaction number three will reference transaction number two. Transaction number four will reference transaction number three, and so on and so forth. So that is why it is called the blockchain. It is chronological, and it's a uh, continuity that basically means if you want to edit one block, you have to edit all of the blocks before it, which is just not feasible. We'll go more into that later. So, miners now, specialized computers that maintain the blockchain's integrity and collect transaction fees. That will be covered, I believe, in lesson one, the lesson right after this one. So, don't worry too much about that, just know that definition. So, remember, a wallet is required to send and receive crypto. Those key pairs I was telling you about, that is what's created by your wallet, your private key and your public key. So transactions are signed by private keys. In other words, you spend money with a private key. Each receiving address has an associated private key. So in order to even get money in the first place, you need to have your private key, which will then generate a public key. And then from that public key, you get your receiving address. I hope that makes sense. The job of a miner is to authenticate the legitimacy of new transactions or blocks. So, like we said earlier, the miners are specialized computers that maintain the blockchain's integrity. And on the bottom, we have public key cryptography secures the blockchain. More on that later. So, how does it work? A decentralized ledger called the blockchain publicly lists each account's balance. So, like I said earlier, it is a database or a ledger that has copies stored on multiple different computers. In other words, one computer could go down, two computers could go down. That doesn't mean that the blockchain is gone. There's thousands more computers that have a copy of the blockchain. In later lessons, I'll actually show you how to view these transactions in real time. Miners ensure that no one can spend the same money twice or double spend. That is the big infamous problem in cryptocurrency space. How do you solve the double spend problem, which was solved by the creator of Bitcoin with the combination of cryptography, the blockchain, and proof of work? So, yeah. A seed or a seed phrase can be used to restore a lost private key. So, without a private key, you cannot have cryptocurrency. If you have cryptocurrency, that means you have a private key unless you are using an exchange's wallet. We'll cover all of this later. Just remember you need a private key to have crypto. And on the bottom it says public key cryptography secures the blockchain. Again, we have a video on the right. You can view that on your own time if you would like. So remember, new transactions are grouped into blocks. Losing your private key means losing your crypto. Transactions on the blockchain cannot be modified. Once a transaction has been written to the database or the ledger, it is there forever. It is permanent. Going back to the second bullet, losing your private key means losing your crypto. If you are using a service like Robinhood or PayPal to buy cryptocurrency, you do not have the private key. Essentially, what's going on Robinhood, I'll use Robinhood as an example, is you are giving someone X amount of dollars or whatever to purchase on your behalf X amount of cryptocurrency. So say one Bitcoin costs $10, just hypothetically. Or one Bitcoin costs $1. Make it easier. You give someone $10 on Robinhood, Robinhood will buy you $10 worth of Bitcoin. You have 10 Bitcoin. Robinhood owns the private key. you're essentially getting an IOU to say that Robinhood owes you $10 worth of Bitcoin. I hope that makes sense. You can get your own private key and buy Bitcoin directly without a without an exchange and have or well, technically you need an exchange, but you can hold the private key and the Bitcoin yourself if you so desire. So just know there's ways you can fully control your money as it was intended to. So share your public address, but hide your private keys. And this is really just an example to break it down, make it very simple. So we have two women, two females transacting. We have Bertha and Anika. So Bertha shares her public address, ABC123, with Anika. She sends it to her over Facebook Messenger, and Anika now wants to send her $20 worth of Bitcoin. So Anika's gonna, go onto her software wallet or her wallet, whatever. She's going to say, I want to send $20 worth of Bitcoin to this address, ABC123. And we know that ABC123 belongs to Bertha. So she signs this transaction, sending her $20. Here's how it works pretty much. After she hits send, every node, remember, the nodes hold a copy of the blockchain. So remember, a node is going to have a copy of the blockchain. This transaction is going to get shot out or broadcast to every single node on the network, and they're going to make sure that the transaction is good to go. The miners, before the miners, say this transaction's good, they're going to do all their calculations, all their work, and they're going to say, if they're going to eventually say, this transaction's good, add it to the blockchain. So now the nodes who the transaction was broadcast to, they'll start confirming that transaction, saying, it's good. It follows all the rules of the network. It's legitimate. These people are signing it with the appropriate keys. So let's go. And then the last step now, once it's been added to the blockchain, is Bertha can take her private key, which, remember, your public key is derived from the private key. So whatever public key you have, there's always going to be a private key associated to it. So now Bertha takes her private key and she accesses that $20 of Bitcoin that was sent to that address ABC123. Remember, you lose your private key, you lose your money. On sites like Robinhood or PayPal or Cash App, you don't have to worry about your private key. Your private key is maintained by those entities. So remember, if you want to have full control, that means you also have full responsibility. Losing your private key means losing your money. If you lose your private key, if you don't have a backup of your private key, more on how to do that properly later. If you forget your seed phrase and you don't know what your seed phrase is, you will lose your money. Remember, cryptocurrency is uninsured.
A stablecoin is any crypto pegged to a real-world asset that is typically less volatile, an example being the US dollar coin. KYC, or Know Your Customer, is the obligation a financial institution has to verify the identities of its customers in accordance with the anti-money laundering laws. Proof of work is a mining system in which miners are rewarded based on the amount of computing power they have contributed. This is usually measured in hash rate or hash power, with a higher hash rate meaning more earnings. Proof of stake is a mining system in which miners are rewarded based on how much they have invested into the network. The easiest way to explain proof of stake would be a miner who owns, say, one pair coin is unable to earn as much as a miner who owns, say, 3 pair coins. Fiat is any money recognized by a government as legal tender. Typically, the term fiat is used to refer to paper money.
The main takeaway from this slide is going to be proof of work and proof of stake. These are very important, and they are referred to as consensus algorithms. You have consensus algorithms and you have encryption algorithms. Encryption algorithms are really only when you're talking about proof of work, but when you're talking about consensus, which has little to do with cryptography, virtually nothing. You're going to talk about proof of work and proof of stake. Those are the main two. There are more, but you just need to know these two for now. So lastly, remember, cryptocurrency is digital. There's no physical form. You need a wallet to own crypto. A wallet can either be a device or it can be software on a computer. Remember that. Your account balance is public. Cryptocurrency is called pseudo anonymous. You have some anonymity, but because the balance of each account is public, it is easily auditable. There are actually whole companies that pretty much analyze blockchains. And then lastly, miners verify new transactions. So, thank you for watching. I hope this video has been very informative. I hope you are more interested in cryptocurrency now than you were before. And thank you for watching. If you would like a copy of this presentation, feel free to use the email from the contact information slide and reach out and we can discuss getting you a copy of this on a secure, some type of a secure method. Again, thank you and peace out.